Hello everyone and welcome back to Stylish Naija channel. If you're new to the channel, you're highly and very welcome. If you have not subscribed already, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button, hit on the bell also on the side to get an update whenever I upload a new video. All of my old subscribers, I appreciate each and every one of you that have supported me all of these years on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. I actually don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. Okay, so like I said, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe and welcome to the Stylish family. Okay, so now in today's class, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew this trendy bubu. So you can see it is a very trendy and it is really chic. So that's what we're going to learn how to cut today. So like the two basic measurements that I really need for this kind of bubu is my across back measurement and then the full length. So for the across back, I'm just going to measure like this. That's from, you place your tape like this and then you measure to where you want your sleeve to get to. So mine, I'm going to make it of about 27 inches. That's from my center back here. And then the full length of my bubu is 40, is I said 40, not 40, 64 inches, because I really want it to flow very well. And then I'm going to show you how to shape this bubu, because you notice the top part is a little bit big, and it's big, not a little bit, and then the down part is slim. So there's actually a way of doing this. And then it has a snatch waist, so we're going to be placing a rope inside that you use to snatch the center of your waist to get that fit. Okay, so now let's get started. You can follow me on all of my social media platforms: Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, all at Stylish Naija. Let's just get started straight into our tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll fold my fabric. This is the fabric I'm going to be making use of. This is a Duchess fabric. I have 5 yards of this fabric right here, 5 yards. So I'm going to fold it into 4 because I'm going to be cutting the back and the front. I'll cut them the same. So I'll fold them right now and then we're going to get started already. Okay, so I finished folding my fabric just like I explained earlier, and then I have some couple of lines which I'm going to explain to you now, the lines that I have here. So I folded it into 4 and then I pinned it because I don't want it to shift. And then this is my across back measurements. Like I said, I'm using 27, so that's my 27 there. I marked it. And then the next measurement that I have here is from my shoulder to my 2 inches below my underbust. So my underbust is actually 20, is actually 13. So I added 2 inches to it just to come down a little bit. That's where I'm going to place the rope that I will use to snatch the waist area. And then the next measurement that I have is from the shoulder to the knee line. So which is about 8.5 inches. So that's for my knee, that's shoulder to knee. So why we need this measurement of the shoulder to knee, that's where the shape of our boob is going to come out from. And then so from this part now, this top to this knee line part is going to be big, while the other part we're going to slim that area. And then the next measurement is the full length of my boo, like I said, so you can see it, which is about 64 inches. So I've marked it. So these are all the basic measurements. The next thing we're going to do now is open up our neckline. So what I'm going to do now, so I've marked, so this is my across back measurement. So from this across back measurement, the next thing I'm going to look at is how wide do I want this down part, that's my knee part of the boo. So for that part, I'm going to use about 30 inches. So it depends on what you want, depends on how big you want it to be. So whatever you have here is what will define the shape. Okay, so for this, I'm going to use 30 inches. So I'll mark 15 here like this. So I've marked my 15 inches. So when you open it up, I'm going to have it about 30 inches, which is okay. So from this 15 inches here is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do this. I'll bring it to this part like this. So it depends on, if you want it straight, you can decide to make it straight. That's if you don't want it curvy. So just curve it in a little bit. And then straighten this part like this to come to this part. So this is what will give that defined shape on the side. Okay, so I hope you get it. So I'm going to pull this now, and then for the down part, so I can decide to take this 15 inches here that I have here, and then just repeat what I have here now, and then repeat it at the down part. So I have, so this is 15 inches. So I'm just going to add 1 inch to it. So I'll mark it down like this to the hem of my boo. So it depends on how wide you want. So this is optional. Please note it is optional. Depends on how wide I actually want my bubu to be. So I'll mark it like that. So you can see this is how simple it is to cut out this bubu. So the next thing we're going to do now is this neckline area. So for this neckline area, I'm going to use my shoulder measurement. So I want the neckline. So I want the slit to stop around my what do you call it? I'm trying to remember again now. It's going to stop around the cap of my sleeve. So this is my 7 inches, so which is 14 because my shoulder is 14. So from this 14 inches, this part, I'm going to slit this part open. Now that's from this part is where I'm going to stitch. That's this part. I don't know how to. So now let's go over the neckline. So for the neckline, so after shaping the down of your bubu, the next thing we're going to come to now is the neckline. So for the neckline, you are going to use your shoulder measurement. So my shoulder measurement is actually 14. So for this, I'm going to add 1 inch to it to make it 16, which is 8 inches. So this is my 8 inches now. So from this 8 inches now, here to this part, I'm going to slit open. And then from this part, I'm going to mark, this is the 8 inches, which is my shoulder. That's the nip tip of my shoulder. I hope you can see that's this point here where I want my sleeve to get to. Then from this point, I'm going to mark the neckline. So it depends on how wide I want my neckline to be. So for my neckline opening, I'm going to use about 8 inches, which is 4. Why I'm using 8 inches is because it's not going to be a cutout neckline. So you will see how I'm going to do it. So from this point to this point, it's going to be stitched, and then this part is going to be open. So I hope you understand it. So this part now, here to here is my neckline. Here to this part is my shoulder line that is going to have a stitch, and then this part is going to have a slit. So I'm going to open up everything that I just did now for you to see. I'm going to open it up. So on this part, I'm going to come down by 1 inch just to open up my my slit. So I'll extend all of these lines down so I don't get into any problem. Okay, so you can see I've done that. So this part now is my neckline area. So I'll take this back to my machine now. So I'm putting notches here. I'm going to stitch. So I hope you understand. So I'm going to stitch from this point to this point. Why this part is my neckline. So this neckline, I can decide to just come down a little bit, just a little bit, maybe just by half of an inch. So you can see what I'm doing, just a tiny little bit. But the neckline, you can see it is straight. So please note, it is straight. Okay, so I'm going to take this back now, stitch this part that's on my neckline area. So I'll put notches so I'll know what I'm doing. So this is my neckline area, and then this is my shoulder area. So I'll open this up now so you understand what I'm trying to say. And then I'll cut this part open so you can see we are done already. I'll cut this part open. So before I cut this part open, my half cut, that's my under bust line. So I'm going to take my mark here before I continue. So when I go to my machine, I'll know where to place my rope. So you measured your center. So it depends on how wide, how tight you want, you understand, you want your strap to be. So that's what you are going to use. So for this, I'm going to place my strap at about 8 inches. So this is about 16. So this is 8 inches here. I'll place one strap here. So I'll come back and show you that. I'm just indicating it. I'll place one strap here. So I'll open up my bubu now. I'll just cut open and then show you. So I've marked on the other part. That's where I'm going to put my waist rope. And then I'm going to open up and show you how to do the stitching. Okay, so I finished. So what I did here, I indicated it on the other side. That's for my snatch waist, and then I'm going to take out my pins now, and then I'll show you how to stitch this book. So we're going to do it stage by stage, so it does not get confusing. So this is our neckline part. So this is our shoulder part that we know we did notch. We added notches to it, like this. So I'll take this back now to my machine. So for the neckline, depends on how wide you want it to be. You can come as much as 8 inches, depends on how wide. So mine, I really don't want it to be too wide. So what I'll do now, take this back now to my machine. I'm going to go and fold the neckline. So you can see my two notch here. This will help me to indicate where my neckline is, and then I'll stitch this down for the neckline. So I want it neat, so I'm just going to do a one stitch down and then stitch the other one. And then on the shoulder part, I'm going to join my shoulder here from this notch to this notch. I'll join this and then join this. Then I'll come back and show you how we're going to go about the sleeve opening and the sides. Okay, so I have finished stitching my neckline, so I'm going to show you what I did. So for the neckline, so you can see my neckline. So I folded it inside, so you can see it is looking neat. And then like the shoulder part that I told you, you can see the little stitch that I made just to get to that shoulder part. And then the whole of this part now, of the whole of the sleeve is open. So the next thing we're going to do now, so I'm going to turn this inside out so I'll be able to show you properly. We're going to do our sleeve opening. So in creating in taking the measurement for our sleeve opening, so for this you are going to determine how you want it, depends on how open you want it to be. That is what you are going to use. So for mine, so from this point, this is the sleeve. So from this point I'm going to use about between 11 and 12, so you can go as much as 15. So you know, the more the open, the more drapey it will become. So for this I'm just going to come like this. I'll use about 12 inches. So this part I'm going to leave here open. So from this 12 inches downwards now, so you can see, so from this 12 inches downward now is what I'm going to go and stitch. So I'll stitch it down. So this part is open. I'll stitch it down to the hem. I'll do the same thing to both sides of my boo. I'll do that and then bring it back and show you. Okay, so I'm almost done with my boo. So I'm going to show you everything that I did. So I've stitched, so I've closed the sides of my boo like I explained. And then for the inside, so I'm going to open up the inside and show you what I did with the rope. Okay, so this is the place where we place that mark on. Okay, so here it is. It's a better view where we place. You remember this part where we marked and then put the marks. So I just cut out part of my fabric. So this is the belt. So you can use any size, depends. So this is about 20 inches. And then I just stitch one on this side and one on this side. So I just used just a running stitch on it, on one side, on one side. So when you wear it, you are going to tie it from the inside. So that helps to snatch the waist. So we are done with our boo. The only thing that is remaining now is just for me to fold the down of my boo, and then I'll place it on the mannequin for you to see the final look of this beautiful piece. Okay guys, so you can see our trendy boo, so you can see how beautiful it is looking. So you can see the drape on the side, and then you can see the waist area. You see how fitted it is. So all you are going to do is you just put your hand from the inside and then you tie it in. So you can see how drape it is looking. It looks fine. You know, I actually use 27 inches. So if you want it to be fuller than this, you can go as much as 30 inches. That's for the sleeve length. So thank you so much. You actually came out really fine. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button. And if you have not subscribed to this channel already, to my channel, please subscribe to Stylish Naija channel. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video.